Today is Thursday. It's the 16th of October, 2014, and this is Wayne Goldsboro Television. I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. Good Thursday morning. Thank you for joining us. Glad to have you here.
Oh boy, it's the 16th of October. I am so excited.
I am too.
Huh?
I am too.
That's what I thought you said, but I am. Today is a big anniversary. You know, the electric light was not invented on this day. But what was invented was the patent went out to the first frosted electric light bulb.
Wow.
Oh.
Frosted light bulb.
Ooh,
We are thrilled.
I'm telling you, the first frosted light bulb.
That just does something for you.
It does.
Send some excitement right through your bones.
Just lights me up.
Of course it does.
Oh, of course. Oh, also on this day, a big hit recorded by Will Bradley Orchestra on Columbia Records. Ray McKinley featured in that band. This was big band now, and the name of the song, and this was a big hit now, was Fry Me Cookie with a Can of Lard.
Oh, wow.
Woo! That's a biggie.
Yeah, that is.
That was the name of the song, and it was a big hit. Anyway,
Oh, wow.
also on this day, the once lowly New York Mets won their first World Series baseball championship this
Yep.
day, 1969. A big day for New Yorkers if you were a Mets fan. And there were some die-hard Mets fans who knew it could happen. The Miracle Mets were 100-1 long shots at the beginning of the season. Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner were at the mic on the radio for one of the most exciting finishes in baseball history this day, 1969. Birthdays today.
Yes.
Linda Darnell, the actress, she's been around, well, she's not now, she passed away, but she was in The Mark of Zorro, Dakota Incident, Blackbeard the Pirate, and all that. 1924 she was born. Angela Lansbury, one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
She was born this day, 1925.
What was the name of her show?
Angela Lansbury, Murder, She Wrote.
Murder, She Wrote.
There you go.
That's right.
Also, big deal on Broadway. She was
Yes.
in Mame in 1966. She was in Dear World. She was in Gypsy. She was in Sweeney Todd. Murder, She Wrote, Death on the Nile,
Yeah.
Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, Harlow, Blue Hawaii, and it
Good
goes
gracious.
on and on and on and on. She was in a ton of stuff. Angela Lansbury, very pretty lady. She's 89 today. Barry Corbin, the actor, Northern Exposure, The Chase, Urban Cowboy, Who's Harry Crumb. Barry Corbin's 74 today. Suzanne Thumbers.
Suzanne Summers.
Suzanne Thumbers is 68 years today. Her real name is Mahoney.
Oh, real Suzanne Mahoney?
Suzanne Mahoney. What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway,
They thought
Suzanne
Summers was better.
I guess so. Three's Company, of course. She's
Yes.
the Sheriff. Did you ever see that? She's the Sheriff.
No.
It wasn't on very long.
No. I did
But
watch Three's Company.
Okay, but she was the Sheriff. Step by Step, American Graffiti. She's 68 years today. Can you believe that?
No, I
68
cannot.
years. Tim Robbins is 56, award-winning actor, is 56 today, and Kelly Martin of Troop Beverly Hills, Life Goes On, Christie, and Matinee. She's 39 today, just a child. And there you go.
Happy
Those are the birthdays and
birthday.
things that happen.
Speaking of birthdays, Mr. Alley here had a birthday on October the 9th, so we want to go back and say happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Hope you had a great
Oh,
day.
it was wonderful. It was
Wonderful.
Yeah, I thought I'd get by you this year.
Nope.
Hey.
Well, you got by me on that day.
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
hey,
well.
we remembered, just, 5 days late, 6
Well,
days?
that's okay. Thank you very much. I
Absolutely. Hope it was great.
A couple of weeks ago, I interviewed a gentleman by the name of Octavius Murphy.
Yes.
Octavius is a Goldsboro guy. He is a local insurance man. But he is also the president of the board of directors for the Men Who Care Global, which is an organization that helps young men.
Right.
And they're going to have a big walkathon coming up to raise money for the Goldsboro chapter to support young men in the community. The walk will start at Dillard Middle School on October 18th. And today's the 16th, so
Yes.
that's the day after tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
It's Saturday. This Saturday at 10 a.m. at the Dillard Middle School in Goldsboro. Okay, so I hope you're able to attend. And if you want to know more about Men Who Care Global, Octavius Murphy will be there, and I want you to talk to him about that. It's a great organization.
Yes, absolutely.
Doing a lot of good work.
I think so. Well, you know what, Wayne? It's already time to go to our interview. So
We just got here.
I know.
What?
Stay with us.
We have guests in the studio today, as you can see. We want to welcome Karen Padgett and DJ Coles. How is everybody doing?
How you doing this morning?
Great to see
Hi.
you. Thanks for being here. We want to talk about Dare to Care. All right, now we've done this before. We talked about Dare to Care before, but let's talk about it again. What is Dare to Care?
Dare to Care is a program that falls under our task force, and if you don't remember from our last interview, it's the Watch Substance Abuse Task Force.
Okay.
Prevention Task Force, before I get popped, right?
Right.
Yeah, Prevention Task Force. And our task force is put together. We are championing against substance abuse in Wayne County for our families and for our children. Yes. Dare to Care is a program that our esteemed Karen came up with, which is amazing. We wanted a program in which we were going to go out and we were going to fight against underage drinking here in Wayne County.
Right.
Yes. So Dare to Care, we'd like to recognize today the bars and owners and the convenience stores that have agreed to adopt the Dare to Care policy.
And the Dare to Care policy is pretty much a way that they are stating that they will make sure all their staff is trained on a responsible alcohol server program, and that they will be sure to not provide alcohol to underage youth and also to those who are visibly intoxicated. So they are kind of telling the community they're going above and beyond.
Right.
So when you see this sticker behind us on any doors or convenience stores, you know that they care about your family, they care about abiding by the North Carolina state law.
This is great. Well, who's in part of this? Who's involved?
Well, definitely, and we love the list. We're excited about it. I'll start with the first couple. Cameron's Clubhouse,
Oh, yes.
which is at 2215 East Ash Street, Goldsboro.
Oh, yes.
Morgan's Lounge, which is
Right.
2715 East Ash Street, Goldsboro. 5-Star Discount, which is at 3515 Central Heights Road. The Kangaroo Express, number 0894, which is at 515 East New Hope Road, Goldsboro.
We also have Shortstop, which is number 75, which is on 404 North Carolina Highway 111 South. Right here in downtown, the Flying Shamrock, which is on 115 North John Street. And then Handy Mart, we have two of those. We have store number 163 and 158. And one's in LaGrange and one is on Highway 70 East in Goldsboro.
Okay. I'm shaking my head like I know where all these places are. I really don't frequent them, although they're very fine business owners and business people here in Wayne County. And we appreciate their going above and beyond to make this program work.
Yes.
Now, recently, in fact, in the last day or two, national news has expressed that crime is down across America, except in the area of drug arrests. It's up and it's increasing and it continues to increase. Why is this happening, DJ? I mean, everybody is aware that, and we actually had a war on drugs. Sure we did. But something is not working. It seems that the continuation of meth labs continue to increase in number, that the continued arrest. We've got to get a handle on this thing. What is Watch? What's the policy of Watch? What's going on in the community? Do you know of anything that's going on that we can do to help?
Well, the one thing we're trying to do to work with organizations is stop access. Because I think that the accessibility is what is causing this to be such an enormous growing trend in our country. Also, because of the money situations in the economy, people are doing this because they can make money at this.
Right.
So we want to fight against that with our local organizations to make sure in our county, in our city, in our state, we're working to fight against people using these drugs and putting them out there. So, and the main thing we don't want the youth hurt. I mean, it's trickling now down into our school systems where you have kids that are doing stuff with dealers at different locations. And we don't want to go into the specifics of that. However, the Substance Abuse Task Force will continue to be a collaborative of organizations that are going to fight to stop this in our country.
All right. And it certainly helps to have these people behind you and supporting you.
Definitely. It's nice to know there are people in the community who care as much about the youth as you do.
Run through those names one more time, if you would, please, without necessarily giving the address, not necessary, but just very quickly.
Cameron's Clubhouse, Morgan's Lounge, 5-Star Discount, Kangaroo Express, Shortstop, the Flying Shamrock, and Handy Mart.
And we certainly salute those organizations and those companies there for helping to make this possible, make this work, because the whole community has to get together and get behind this thing.
That's right.
I would like to say, if you are a business and you want to join the Dare to Care program, We have some numbers that we'd like to give. I'm DJ, this is Karen, of course, and our phone numbers will be on the screen shortly.
Yeah, let's put those up. There you
That's
go.
how you can call us, and we want you to be a part of this Dare to Care program, because what it does is when someone goes into your store, they know that you have had the training that is needed, and that they know that you are working very diligently to make sure that we are not serving to underage.
That's exactly right. It's 919-587-4136 for Karen, and DJ is 919-587-4126.
Yes.
All right. Any final words? Anything you want to add?
I'm honored to work with this young lady. I mean,
Okay.
when she came to us with NCCI, which is a program that we were able to work with, she's been diligent in working to help get this Dare to Care program up and running, and she's just a valuable asset to our county, and I want her to know that.
Well, let's talk about that. I think most people around know DJ Coles. He's, of course, gospel singer and minister, and you've been around in the public eye for a number of years. But tell us about Karen Padgett. Karen, what is? Tell me about Karen. Who's Karen?
I moved here through the military. I was married to someone in the service and started working at the health department. I worked in health promotion and did a lot of environmental changes to help people be healthier, be more physically active. And since then, I was hired by Cicely Elmore to work at Watch, and had a lot of history in substance abuse, and was happy to take on the position to where we could work on different projects for Wayne County with substance abuse.
All right. This is one project I know that, and DJ, am I correct in saying that she was the brain behind this Dare to Care?
And even down to creating the logo. I mean, she's very amazing, and she's innovative, and she has good vision, so we're glad to have her on the team.
Well, tell me about DJ Coles.
I'm an advocate. You know, I want to take care of our children. I have children in our schools, and I love children, being a youth pastor for the last 16 years. So I really want to fight against anything that is going to hurt our children and our families, and I'm going to do it until I go to heaven.
Let's throw those numbers up on the screen there one more time, Andre, if you would, please. We have Karen Padgett and DJ Coles, 587-4136 and 4126 for our friends here. And folks, I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
All right.
Right. In our studio today, you see Vic Miller. Vic is the chairman of the Veteran Services Advisory Board, and I thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you for having me,
How are
Wayne.
you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's good to see you always.
Yes, thank you.
We want to talk about several things. First of all, several things regarding Veterans Affairs. We're going to talk about an American's right to vote.
Oh yes, that's probably the most important.
That is the most important thing. Let's get right to that. We have midterm elections coming up November 4th, and I do hope you're ready for this. And by ready, I mean I hope you've done your homework.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. For all of you citizens out there who vote in Wayne County, and I beg you, please, and I've said this time and time again, you know, it doesn't matter who you're voting for, what side of the aisle you're voting for, but please do your homework. Vote for that person who's the most qualified.
That's right.
Republican, Independent, Democrat, please vote for the most qualified candidate
running,
because it's our future that's at stake here. And it's not only that, but Veterans Day voting, you know, it's because of veterans is the reason why we have the freedom to elect who we want to elect. It's the freedom of the reason why we have elections. And a lot of people, and I hope as time goes on, we start to realize that, you know, it's a right, you know, it's a privilege, and it's just definitely something that a lot of places in this world, overseas, and a lot of third world countries that are run by dictators, that people don't get the right to vote, and it's just a freedom that I think so many people might be taking for granted in this country, and it's probably one of the greatest rights that we have.
Yes, it is indeed, and you're so right about that. There's so many countries, roughly 200 nations around the world, and you have to stop and think about how many of them do not have the right to vote as they please. They can't do it.
No,
And we here in America, so many people take it for granted. And if you don't, and I can't, every election, I can't believe the percentages. It keeps dropping down lower.
Isn't it?
And this 10 or 12% at the highest, 8 to 10 to 12% of the people in America who vote are making decisions for the entire country. So that's why it's important for you to do your homework, first of all, know for whom you're voting, and make sure this is the person you think can lead this nation.
The best, and not just for your benefit, but for the benefit as a whole, is the way I look at it.
Exactly right.
You know, and I always bring back, and every time I talk to someone on the street, or every time I talk to someone about voting, or if we always hear it on the street, and some of you might have heard it yourself, but you know, you hear about you know what, there's not a good candidate out there, or you know what, my vote doesn't count, or you know, and I hear, surprisingly, we hear that a lot, and it's like, you know what, I'm one guy, you know, I'll vote next time, or I'm just too busy, you know, and I'm here to tell you, and I always fall back to this one story. I was in Fallujah, Iraq in 2006, and we were working up for the elections in November of that year, and it was probably one of the most violent, other than the two pushes in 2004, probably the most violent times we've seen it in Fallujah, because they were just trying to stifle the freedom voice that we were out there to protect, and we lost a lot of good Marines. So, you know, and I always ask them this, I said, what about all those people that have died for your right to vote? So please don't tarnish their memory, and please honor them, at a minimum, honor them by going out and making that conscious, educated vote, instead of just blindly saying, no, I don't want to do it, or you know what, I don't like any candidates, they're big government anyway. Well, they're big government because one, either you don't get out there, or two, you're just not having an educated vote. So get out there, like we said, know your candidates, vote for the most qualified as a whole that helps our country, our state, our county, our city. You know, vote for them, the one that helps us out as a whole and bring this community back together. And I just can't stress that enough. And for the memory of those who put their lives on the line and have sacrificed the ultimate sacrifice for the right to vote.
I can't help but feel, Vic, that there's so many people that don't think about that. They don't think about our military personnel and the job that they have to do overseas and away from home, months at a time, years at a time, overseas, putting their lives on the line and losing the lives, many of them. And why? Because we love freedom, we love our liberty, and we love the U.S. So, and they're spending their lives for us.
Exactly, yes.
So let's think about that.
Exactly, and just think about, on another note, think about all of those around the world that don't have the freedoms and don't have the right that you have.
That's right.
And that would just kill to be in your position, to be able to raise their hand and say, or punch a ticket and say, I don't like this candidate. I like this candidate because he or she is going to help out my or our community. And you know, so please, you know, think about that third world country. Think about that individual who is oppressed and who has been oppressed for so many years, and you know, you just can't stress
you and I have both heard of nations that hold elections. These nations run by dictators.
I like it, elections.
These nations run by dictators who they put puppet candidates to oppose them, and all of a sudden you hear that the winning candidate had 100% of the vote.
Oh, yes.
You know, that's not anywhere near possible. You know it's not possible. So what a joke that is.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
I like that. Yeah. Everybody
absolutely.
in the nation who voted for me. I'm so good. But think about this. And you brought up a good point about big government. Our government is too big right now, and and there's a reason for that. It's because of people that are elected to office. Not everybody wants big government. Our founding fathers tried to explain that in many ways, for one, in our Constitution, that there are many reasons that we need to keep our government minimal. We don't need a big government to run this nation. In fact, well, I won't say anything about the 10th Amendment. I won't go into that. But I do hope when you go to vote, and you will go to vote, I certainly hope that you think about your vote, you think about your candidate, and you do the right thing.
And part of knowing your candidate is look at the track record. Look at the candidate's track record. And don't always believe what CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, or their campaign ads say. You know, if you see something if a campaign says something about a certain candidate, then you know what, look into it. If you don't have, with the social media in today's day, you know, if you don't have a computer, read the newspaper. If you don't have the newspaper, go to the library. If you can't get to the library, find someone who will get there. There's many, many ways. There's internet, there's TV, there's there's newspapers, there's magazines, there's so many different information, and I ask you this, and I always laugh because, you can go to certain places in town and you could see MSNBC 24 hours a day. And you go to other places, which is Fox News 24 hours a day. Watch both of them. And see the difference and see what the one's reporting, if there is a difference on certain issues. Because I sit down, believe it or not, and my friends are out there going, oh, no, Vic, no. But I watch MSNBC from time to time.
Do you really?
I watch CNN, and because I want to understand and I want to be able to sit there and speak intelligently as much as I can. I'm not an expert by any means, but I have an opinion, and I exercise my right to have an opinion, and I exercise my right to vote.
Good for you.
But I want to understand both sides, and and I read as much as I can, and I sit there at night sometimes and I pull up the news, and sometimes I'll be like, hey, so and so said this, or so and so missed this briefing, so on and so forth. I'm like, okay, well, I'll Google it. Google, ladies and gentlemen, is a wonderful thing. I don't know who came up with it, but
Mr. Google did.
Yeah, Mr. Google is. I know. I'm sure his shares have shot up. You're welcome. But Google it. YouTube is also a great thing because you know what? If you want to say, hey, so and so said something, look it up.
It's on YouTube
It's
somewhere.
on YouTube because you know what? One thing that YouTube cannot do, and I've said this and I'll say it again, YouTube, you can't word something to sway an opinion right or left. When someone says it, just like we are now, if I say, you know what, I don't like cats. If you want to write it saying Vic Miller doesn't own cats, he wants to go out and kill all the cats in Goldsboro. That's not true.
That's not what you said.
That's not what I said, but I'm on TV saying I don't like having a cat. I'm allergic to cats. See, that's something that someone in writing might miss out. And so all the cat lovers in Goldsboro, Wayne County, and I'm talking to you, some of you out there, some of my neighbors, don't worry about it. Don't keep your cats inside. It's just that I can't have them around my house. But if someone were to write that either from a newspaper or in an article, or People magazine interviewed me and it goes, oh yeah, Mr. Miller hates cats. So you know what, if he sees a cat in his backyard, and you can just so you can understand how that could be taken out of context.
And many times it's taken out of context, unfortunately on purpose.
But not only that, but they can also cut it at the end of I could say, I don't like cats, cut. And then I can continue to say, I don't like them because one, I'm allergic to them, but they don't show that part. So also be careful of YouTube. I'm not saying YouTube is the be all of all news, but it's just it's just another tool for the toolbox that you could use to sit there, because you can't really, you hear the words out of their mouth, and then you got to listen to more than 30 seconds of a clip.
That's
because
true.
There's before and after what people say.
That's right.
So
you're absolutely right. So do your homework. This is important. I don't understand why people can't see how important this is.
Nope.
But it is important. So do your homework and vote the way you think that you should be voting in a correct manner. That is, and that simply means that be voting for the person you think is a person to lead the county, and of course the county's not, we don't have anybody on the commissioners,
but
lead the state and lead the federal government.
Exactly. It's the House, the Senate. But also, and don't forget early voting also.
Early voting coming up starting October 23rd.
Yep.
October 23rd, and most of the voting places will be open, and there's 5 of them, will be open from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m., most of them. So, and there's a schedule on our WayneGov.com website, WayneGov.com/BOE will take you to our Board of Elections, and you can go from that point to a schedule of where you can vote, voting early.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's get off of that.
No, it's a very important thing. I'm glad that we covered it. I'm glad we took the time to explain and talk about it, because it is a very important issue.
As you mentioned earlier, it's one of the most important things we have to do as Americans.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, another thing we need to do is to honor our military. Coming up, we have Veterans Day.
Our Veterans Day Parade, yes. Actually, it's coming up. It's another chance of us to honor our veterans, honor our current Seymour Johnson, airmen at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, our veterans throughout Wayne County, and I think it's every year. Last year was a phenomenal event, but this year, you know, I know some people might not know because of the construction downtown. We do have a route. Our main route is going to be down John. We're going to take a ride on Mulberry, and we're going to go back on Williams Street.
Okay.
We're going to be going by the Wayne County Memorial right across from the courthouse here. So for those of you who don't know where it is or might not know where the route is, our main route is going to be coming down John Street, taking a ride on Mulberry, and then coming back on Williams Street. So feel free to come out, and if you have an organization, and I say this to Wayne County, but if you have an organization that wants to be part of the parade, please get down to the VSO, Veteran Service Office off of Bass Street, and see Sean Moore, and she will give you an application, and please turn it in as soon as possible. Either myself, I'm at the VSO on Thursdays between 12 and 2, Brian Vogt, or any one of the veterans that are sitting down there volunteering, or get it to Sean Moore at a minimum, or if you see myself or any veterans that you know of, please get that application in, because the more the merrier, and I'm looking for a great show this year.
Now, for the last several months, the Veteran Services Office has been open 5 days a week, and will continue to do so.
Yes.
Talk to Sean Moore. She's there. I think it's 731-1491 if you need to call.
I don't know how we've talked about this before.
I don't know.
You know, I could write it on my hand, and I still won't.
It's a number thing. I don't know. You know. But Sean is there. It's in that office, and if you need to talk to a veteran, of course you have Vic here, or Brian, or any of the other volunteers.
Or with the military, the Purple Heart, or Bill Graham. I think Bill Graham's internationally known.
Internationally known.
What do you call that when you're outside the county? Inter-county known. You know,
yes.
He's known throughout the state. How's that?
Yeah, they know him in Eureka. They
I
do.
know,
and Nahanta, too.
It's one of those, Bill Graham is one of those guys. You could be anywhere in the state, and any veterans, talking to any veterans group, and he goes, hey, I know Bill Graham. Huh?
Yeah.
Everybody knows
Everybody knows Bill Graham.
It's kind of like Wayne Alley.
No. No, stop.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
But I was just going to say that the Veteran Services Office, if you're new to the area, is at 2001D East Ash Street. It's the old Nash Printing Company building, which if you're new to the area, you don't know Nash Printing. But anyway, that's where they are. They're on East Ash Street, 2001 East Ash. And
It's next to the Senior Center.
now everybody knows where that is.
Everybody knows where that is.
Right next to the Senior Center. Hope you're able to go over there and take advantage of that. It's there for you. All right. Now, again, I want to get right in my mind the route of the parade. You say it starts on John?
Well, we're going to be starting on Center Street.
Starting on Center Street.
And we're going to be staging on Center Street. And we're going to be taking a right on Spruce, taking a left on John Street.
Okay.
Coming down John Street, taking a right on Mulberry.
Okay.
And then taking another right on Williams, going all the way down to Spruce, taking a right, and that's going to bring us to the end.
There you go. All over the place.
All over the place. So it's a good route.
Yeah.
It's between the Goldsboro Police Department, Major West, Captain Dean, and the veterans organizations. We work together on a route and staging it. So hopefully.
Well, that's great.
We hope for a great turnout. We know we're going to have a great turnout from Seymour Johnson.
Yeah.
With all the airmen and the commanders there,
Love
it's just doing a great job.
Love it.
A lot of great support from Seymour Johnson.
Oh, that's fantastic.
As usual.
Yeah. All right, that's the Veterans Day Parade coming up. Also, and that's on what day? We didn't say what day.
Veterans Day, November 11th.
November 11th. Starts at 11?
It starts at 11, yes.
Okay.
And the day prior to that, Marine Corps birthday,
Yes, indeed.
239 years old. We are going to have a Marine Corps birthday luncheon. So if you know of a Marine or a family member, a good friend, if you just want to go out there and support, we're going to have a lunch at the Flying Shamrock at noon on Monday, November 10th.
And that's on John Street, about the
And that's
what?
on John Street, actually.
100 or 200, 100 block, I think.
Oh, I'm not quite sure.
It's North John Street.
Yes,
Figure it out.
it's on John Street. Just drive down John Street. It's
You'll
downtown.
find it, yeah.
You can't miss it. It's got the big.
It's got the big shamrock.
Flags. The big shamrock.
Yeah,
exactly.
the
So,
flags of
but
Ireland.
great place. Come down, have a toast, have some lunch. We're going to have some birthday cake for the Marine Corps.
That's great.
We're going to have a reading of the General John A. Lejeune's message.
Oh, great.
And we are going to have a playing of the Commandant and the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps' message also. So we're going to try to do it. And if you do plan on attending, please try to let me know, or let myself or someone at the Veterans Service Office know if you plan on attending, because we are going to try to keep it as traditional as possible, as we do every Marine Corps birthday. Of the cutting of the cake, the first cake will go to the oldest Marine present, and it's also the second piece of cake is going to go to the youngest Marine present.
Great.
And I say that because I would rather not have someone in the crowd hearing a birthday going, hey, wait a minute, I'm older than that, or hey, I'm younger than that.
Yeah.
Well, if you would have let me know, and I beg you, please do let me know prior, so one, we can get a number of seats we need, and then two, we know if you're the oldest or the youngest Marine present. So that would be, we're looking for having a great time that day.
Should they send you an email?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Is that V. Miller 1991?
Yes, it's MillerVM1991 at
I'm
Gmail.
sorry.
Yes,
All right.
please do.
MillerVM
1991 at Gmail. Please send me an email if you plan on attending, or if you'd like to attend. And if you're, I would say, give or take, and we talked about this the other day, not you and I, but I talked about this to some of the veterans.
If you're born, that's why I don't remember.
If you were born before 1970, please store your birth date on there, or if you're born after 1990, please store your birth date on there, because that way we know you're going to be the youngest or older Marine, because if you are the youngest Marine, we want to honor you, but if you're also the oldest Marine, we want to honor you there. And we're going to have a couple of Marines, former retired Marines, say a few words. We're going to try to keep it short and simple, but we're there to have a good time, celebrate the Marine Corps birthday, and that's going to lead on into Veterans Day Parade.
Excellent. So happy birthday, Marines. It's November 10th.
November 10th.
Give me a hoorah.
Hoorah.
Hoorah. Okay, Vic Miller, the man with the plan here. We're talking about, of course, the Veterans Day Parade coming up November 10th, November 11th. Talking about the birthday celebration for the Marines November 10th at the Flying Shamrock somewhere on John Street.
Somewhere. Yeah.
And we're asking you to please do your homework and get out and vote on November 4th, and vote early if you like, beginning October 23rd. And in fact, somewhere in Wayne County, there'll be a poll open where you can vote early 7 days a week, beginning October 23rd.
That's what I hear.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's exactly right. Well,
Doing
Vic,
a great job.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. It's an
Vic
absolute
Miller.
pleasure.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Thank you, buddy. And we're back on Wayne Goldsboro Television.
We are, but Wayne,
But Wayne, what?
I want to tell you about a run that is coming up, and it's organized through the city. Through the city of Goldsboro, through the Wellness Committee and Wellness Department. They are having a run. It's called a Beaver Moon Run.
Okay.
Don't know what that means. All I know is this at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
The running of the beavers. Is that
Maybe.
like running of the bulls?
Maybe. We'll pretend like it is.
Okay, we're going to be running beavers here.
It's at Stony Creek Park, 4 o'clock p.m. on November the 8th. So mark your calendar if you want to participate. Beaver Moon Run, Stony Creek Park, City of Goldsboro, 4 p.m. They'll have lots of giveaways and T-shirts and all kinds of fun little things. But just want you to mark your calendars if you would like to participate in the Beaver Moon Run. Eventually, I'll have details on exactly what that means.
I'm looking forward to that. Okay. Good job.
I know you are. Ah, yes.
Yeah, the Beaver Moon Run.
There, yep, that's
we
it.
have the we have WayneVotesEarly.com to tell you about. WayneVotesEarly.com. You know, we have the midterm elections coming up November 4th. Early voting in Wayne County begins on October 23rd, and the days have been shortened. The number of days have been shortened. You can vote early. However, the hours of each day have been extended. So it's the same number of hours as before, but just a fewer number of days. Beginning October 23rd, and you can vote every day. There's somewhere you can vote every day between October 23rd and November 1st. And you get details of where you can vote. There's 5 locations where you can vote and the times that you can vote on the web, on the internet at
WayneVotesEarly.com.
Very good. WayneVotesEarly.com. Okay, go to that location. You can, if you're uncertain as to where you're supposed to vote, you can get your polling places right there at that location.
And there's several times they're going to be open on Saturdays and Sundays.
That's right.
So just make it even more convenient for you.
For example, the first Sunday after the 23rd, you can vote on Sunday from 1 to 5 p.m. at the Veteran Services Office on East Ash Street.
Then there's another time a little bit later.
When
I
you
believe
can-
it's the Saturday before the November 4th voting.
On November 1st, that's a Saturday, you can vote at any of the 5 locations from 9 a.m. I think until
Till
1.
1.
9 till 1 at any of those 5 locations on a Saturday now. So go to WayneVotesEarly.com and get details.
Research your candidates. Everyone
Please.
get out and vote.
You know, because if you don't research your candidates, how do you know
What they
who-
stand for.
Yeah. How do
Yep.
you know who to vote
There
for?
you go. That's
you
right.
don't know who to vote for. So you shouldn't be, I'm not going to say you shouldn't be voting if you don't know who you're voting for, but it just doesn't make sense. So find out for whom you're voting, please.
That's right.
Gee whiz, I mean, really.
Right around the corner. Really Chili Challenge, October 25th, 11 to 2, downtown Goldsboro. Same day, Jazz on George Street, between 1 and 6, free jazz concert. Lots of activities happening on that weekend, so mark your calendars, October the 25th.
Exactly right. October 15th is the first day that you'll be able to, if you're on Medicare and you want to make a change, you can do that between October 15th and December 7th. You can go to the Senior Center and get details. Any day beginning Wednesday, October 15th.
Yesterday.
Yesterday, that's right. Today's
Today's the 16th.
now until Friday, October 31st, actually December 7th. Goes on.
How about that?
I'm calendarially challenged today. Calendarially challenged. Thank you very much. From yesterday all the way through to December 7th, you can, if you want to make a change, you can do that these days between 9 a.m. and noon.
Thank you.
Thank you, on those days, except Saturdays and Sundays, okay?
Oh, goodness, I
I
know.
know, mine too. My goodness, my goodness.
You know
are
what?
gonna
And that's
do?
all for today.
Is that it?
That is
We're
it.
done?
Completely.
Well, we'll have to continue tomorrow. If you will, join us here at this time, right here wherever we are, okay? So until tomorrow on Wayne Goldsboro Television, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. And this is what's happening in your community.